Good morning, Pertam, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Space Engineer Survival. In the last episode, we had to make a sudden stop here on the planet Pertam. After building up some basic infrastructure, we designed and built ourselves a little scout rover, mostly to find resources, but also to find ourselves a good little base location here on the planet to hopefully secure a foothold in the region. Now, in this episode, I'm hoping to at least make a start on the starter base that we discussed in the last video. Now, the main idea I had for said starter base was I wanted to build ourselves a little rover bay slash base into the side of this hill here, because we have this hill here that I quite like the look of, and what I was thinking is this kind of hill section here would probably be a good place to build our main base. Main reason being is we have this little oasis here. And if we pull out our drill, whoop, that came in a bit hard, you can see we've got some ice under the surface here. So what I'm thinking is this is probably going to be the best place for us to set up. So can build our main base here, but that'll come in the future. For now, and like I said, in this episode, I'm wanting to get a start on a little rover bay slash base to get us started here. First things first is we are probably going to need some resources, because at the minute, yeah, we've only got ourselves 19 steel plates. So I think for now, probably a good idea to get ourselves back to crash site. But before we leave, I am just going to add ourselves a little GPS location and go starter base and leave that just here, so just to make sure we don't get ourselves lost on the way back. So what we're doing is I've just turned off the steering on the back wheels. We have adjusted the steering angle of the front wheels to half of what it was before, and I've also added a little bit more strength to the back wheels as well, which I proceed to show you by immediately driving a little bit recklessly down a steep hill. As well as the ice, we do have quite a few kind of basic resources around here. Yeah, these resources are popping up all over the place, so we should be more than fine to gather up as much resources as really we can carry. Alright, so with that, we are back here at the ship. And by the looks of it, nope, it definitely has not magically repaired itself while we were gone. What we're going to be doing, first off, is we're going to need to drill into the side of that hill to get ourselves our base set up. So what we're going to do is come to the second hotbar. We can just clear that. And what we're going to need? We're going to need the light armor. And what I'm going to use is we are going to jump on and use the drill system large. And what I'm thinking is if we also get ourselves a large grid refinery and basic assembler, we can chuck those on there just so we have them. What I should really do as well is as I'm adding these to the hotbar, we should add these to our build planner as well, because then what we can do is while we're kind of planning out and ferrying back and forth, we can add these to the build planner. Well, add these to production, should I say, And then we can just have those making in the background while we can. Probably we'll also want a cargo container. So let's just grab a small cargo container for now. And then probably once that gets full, we're going to need a sorter and a connector. Just to kind of get rid of any unwanted stone. Okay, so, and finally we're going to need some way to power this all. I'm going to use the larger twin blade wind turbines just because they just generate a bit more power, and personally I just prefer the aesthetic as well. That should be everything. So what we can do now is we can add those components to it. We'll get rid of the metal grids because at the minute we don't have any cobalt to make the metal grids. But what we can do is we can grab whatever resources we have available and we'll just dump those into the rover. Okay, and it has given us quite a few steel plates and interior plates. So if we've got this right, we should be okay to... Oh, no, this is just... Yeah, so even with the increased strap for those back wheels... Okay, yeah, what I can do is I can just bring these over and drop them off. Alright, and here we are. So what I should do for... jump out the seat is let's grab the interior plates and steel plates and we can kind of plan ourselves out here. I'm thinking if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 actually 6, 7. Put the drill there, and then what I'm thinking is if we put a basic assembler there, cargo container there, assembler there, sorter, and I was originally going to stick this out the backside here, but if we have the sorter there, it might be a better idea to use this inset connector. And then the other thing we can do is go 1, 2, 3. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then do the same here. 1, 2. And then 1 there. And 1 there. So that is pretty much just going to be the basic layout that we have just while we're kind of gorging the mountain side here. And then we can, once we've got all that set up, we can look at kind of building our base. What I'll do is we'll have to do a few trips back and forth just to fill these all up with the resources. So I will do that and bring you back when we are all sorted. So it looks like while we were away, the production stopped pretty much straight away because we have run out of iron. What I'm thinking as well is we might look at switching the light armor blocks that I put on the front there and replacing them with batteries as well. Because that'll then add a bit more weight to the front of it as well. Just to help, hopefully help. Should be about 6,000-7,000 iron ore on us now. So that should be more than enough to finish off the components that we need. We'll do it your way. We'll back out of here slowly. Yeah, I definitely think we need to add those batteries to the front. Now, hopefully with all of this, we should have enough stuff build up all of those, but time will tell. So we should have more than enough to finish this. Yeah. So everything in our build planner needs 830 iron, and we have all that, and we have all the silicon and the nickel. Okay, and with that, I have the power! Alright. Okay. Quick setup here as well. First things first, conveyor sorter. We're going to go to whitelist and stone. And add that to the list. Drain all on and turn that off for now. The insert connector, we can just put throw out. And then last thing we need to do is jump into our drill. We need to just designate the area that it needs to mine. And we need to enable stone. Okay, so I've just clicked show area, and you can kind of see we've got a massive area that it will try and mine at the minute, so we just need to adjust that. So first things first, height does not need to be 75. If we're only building like a little rover bay, I think 15 is probably going to be a good place to start. Now, we can increase that later on if we feel like we need more space. But for now, that should be fine. Width. We change that to 20. And we'll leave the area depth at 75, but we'll just bring it forward. 40. Now, this should be mostly okay. What I am going to do as well is, got the height set to 15. So I'm just going to add a vertical offset. And what that'll mean is that then perfectly lines up with this kind of line of blocks. And at least for now, that should work for the entrance. We now go into here. We can turn this drill on. And hopefully, there we go. It's just instantly mining this away. Now, if I just quickly look at this. So this is going to be nine blocks wide. If my math is right, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9 blocks wide. Try and get rid of this. Nope, that tree is just not liking me try to grind it down. Yeah, what I might have to do is do a little bit of movie magic to make it disappear. But we can deal with that later. Okay, so I'm just gonna let this run for a little bit. And we can check it out in a little bit. So while it's doing that, what I'm gonna do to start off with is we can head back to the ship. And I'm probably gonna grab some steel plates and some interior plates, just so we can kind of make a basic outline of what we want. So we already have 48 there, 15 there. Just gonna go hide empty. Okay, so that's all we have right now in terms of plates. Yeah, so that's all we have now in terms of plates. So what I'm going to do is if we go up, say 60 more of them, 40, should be all good. Yeah, because we still got like 900 iron in the refinery. Okay. Don't know where the... Oh, careful. Don't know where the rest of those steel plates have gone, but nothing to worry about right now. So what I'm going to start off with is I'm just going to extend these blocks out. Yeah, because you can see although I've lined it up with this bit, we are going to be slightly off. Let me put that bit back on. And what we'll try is go 5 and grab this light armor slope. And I just like using these because I feel like if we use the 2x1, they yeah, they seem to be a bit aggressive with it. Okay, so what I'll do is just line these along here. Bring these all the way back as well. And then I can add these 5x5, not 5x5, 5x1 slopes. That should give us a nice incline to get into the base. Nah, those do feel a little bit, those do stick out a little bit at the bottom here. So what we can do is, I think if we put these, I'll try one block back to start off with, and we'll see how that one looks. Okay, that looks a lot better. Yeah. So we'll just add these across the whole way. Come on. And there we go. Yeah. You can see there it kind of gives a good gentle transition between the floor and what will be the entrance to the rover base. Cool. Now, we will probably need a name for this base. So if you have any suggestions, feel free to pop them down in the comments. And depending on What I'm also going to do is we could probably do with moving this drill forward. Now that it's kind of drilled out most of the front here. We go to 4 and yeah, put that to 75. And then hopefully that should be big enough for what we need. Okay, and now at the minute as well, our small cargo container is looking full. And yeah, our refinery is just getting filled up straight away, as well as our drill. So what I'm going to do now is just going to turn it on the sorter, and then you can see there, just going to start pulling that stone, that extra stone, and dumping it onto the ground here. Quite frankly, we don't need it right now. Now, we may regret it later when we need more resources, but that'll be fine. That's future Ben's problem, so he will have to deal with that. Alright. So we can kind of just fill this area in as it's digging it out. To be honest, once we get inside as well, I will probably look at maybe making it a bit wider as well. Just so we have a bit more room on the sides for a bit of infrastructure, probably some storage of some kind. But yeah, for now, I'll just let this run, and I will bring you back once we've got some progress. Okay, I did notice while it was drilling, it was starting to slow down quite a bit, and I've noticed it's just from where I've put the connector, it's not actually able to drop any more stone because it's just getting full. It's just all this stone here is getting in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a couple of conveyors and bring it up maybe 1 or 2 blocks, just so it has kind of the clearance to drop as much stone as it can. And now we've got a sandstorm as well, which is really fun. Can barely see anything there. And the lightning as well. What I'm thinking, we put a T-junction there and a corner junction there. Then we can have 2 connectors just dumping out the stone. Oh, okay. And as well, now we've got the large grid basic assembler, we can even build up more bolts. Now, with those welded, yeah, the drill should work a lot faster. Now, it's also getting quite dark. What we can do is we can jump in the cryopod here. Alright, by the looks of it now, it is just starting to be morning. So we should now be all good to keep going. And I think for now, just while we've kind of not got a main base set up, we probably are going to keep sleeping through the night. Just until we get to a point where we've got like lights around the base and everything and we can see. And maybe then we can do a little bit more night content. But for now, it's a bit too dark, and I'm betting with Google compression it's going to make it look even darker. Might be an idea to save it for now. So that looks like it is fully encased now in stone. So if we set the forward offset now to 100. Yep, that is looking good. I should be able to extend it on both sides now. At least a little bit. And if we change that to 30 rather than 20. Grab a couple of blocks and then we can check how much further it's gone out. Okay, so we've got 1, 2. We could do better than that. Okay, so for every 10 I bring it out, it makes it 2 blocks wider. So, we've we set the width to 45, that should add 3 more blocks to it. If my math is right. Because yeah, that's in line with that end. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and hopefully 5. And then there should be a nice little space for our starter base. Yeah, so that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that should then make kind of perfect base for a little starter base slash rover bay. I mean, honestly, this opening is wide. We might, once we get a rover built up, try and see if we can go grab the ship and bring it indoors. At least to try and protect it, because we could always try and repair the ship that crashed and use that to go to space, at least the first time. For now, at least, I'm just going to let that cook again, and I will bring you back once we have got some progress. Good heavens, where did it go? Okay, and while this is building, what we're going to do is I'm just going to put a door frame in as well. We're going to keep these wall and probably extend them out a little bit, probably till about here, and just use these slopes to kind of make it look like it's at least going somewhat with the terrain. And then once you actually get to this bit, this is where the door's going to be. So now the question is, do we put in one big door that comes down from the top, or do we make a door that comes in from the top and the bottom? We can try, at least. I can't use these ones because these ones don't grow small enough. I need the 2 wide ones and the 3 wide ones. Now, as I'm doing this, I am kind of also starting to realize it's going to be a little bit of a pain to drive over these. I mean, I could try it now with the disposable. Let's just add a few blocks in and just give me a place to turn around. I mean, I didn't feel like walking over them, so I think we should be all right. Let's just have a quick drive in and just check. Okay, so they drove over it perfectly fine. The batteries in my buggy are dying. So let's just pop it up there, pop the brakes on, pop the batteries on charge. Alright, so with that, that feels like a good place to stop. In between episodes, I'll probably just let this drill finish running and drill out the whole space, put a floor in, and then next episode we can kind of hit the ground running, get ourselves planned out of how we'd like the space to look. And then if we have time in the next episode, we could even start looking at building ourselves a proper rover. But with that, thank you very much for watching today. If you have enjoyed, do consider leaving a like on the video, and if you aren't subscribed already and you enjoyed the content, subscribe, as that's the best way to get notified about any new content. Just like our first subscriber, we have John T. Wyerman, so thank you very much to him, and if you want to join John as a subscriber on the channel, that would be very much appreciated. But for now, I've been Ben, this is Delirious Gaming, and I will see you in the next video. Oh, no. Start well. Yeah. Whoa! God, I say all that, but that does make me sound like a really old man. Like, I do feel like once I get to that age, I'm just gonna be one of those guys sat on my porch, just like, you 10 kids get off my property!